What I'm observing, Nitin, is that there seems to be this common theme, and that is that we're seeing fantastic progress in widening access, in usage, in adoption. We're starting to see organizations achieve some pretty impressive productivity and efficiency gains, and yet there still seems to be this question around we don't feel that we're realizing the full promise of our investments. And even if we may be getting close, at the speed that we need to realize them to really drive that competitive edge.
The question that people are now bringing up is no longer about the usage of AI. And what we have been articulating, and I'm actually kind of stating this very passionately, the R in the return of AI, in the return of investment in AI, should perhaps be the third R, not the first R. And what I mean by that is, if you want to see the return, the first R needs to be reimagining the business model, the processes, the workflow, and how work is even undertaken. You need to reimagine that. And as you reimagine it, you then need to focus on the second R. And that second R is redistribution of work between a human workforce and an agentic digital workforce. Once you kind of take a step back, reimagine the process and the workflow, and think through what type of activities should be undertaken by a human workforce versus what type of tasks should be executed by a digital workforce and redistributed, you then essentially get to the return on investment through the optimal coupling of the tasks that are naturally performed by a human workforce versus the activities that are executed by a digital workforce.
In our report, we use the language tipping points. We talk about how 1 year ago we saw these tensions, we were trying to navigate, but now we are at that tipping point. And I think it really, really, reiterates what you've highlighted there.
A year back, a lot of the conversation was around experimenting with AI and undertaking proof of concepts. We're at a point of inflection. So what's happened is the dialogue has now moved, and this is kind of what our survey also shows. The dialogue is moved to usage, application, scaling, adoption, and return.
In a lot of what we're discussing in the report is technology alone isn't going to get us there. We need to be very intentional in how we are doing the reimagination, if, where, and how we are applying AI, and being deliberate in how we design the relationships.
Reimagine your processes within your business context. Take a step back, think through what are the actual tasks and activities that should be undertaken by a human versus a digital workforce, redistribute those tasks and activities between those two bifurcated workforces, and then strive for the optimal coupling of how they work together. That ultimately will help you get to the return in investment, and you will then start seeing the actual scaling up of AI within an organization, and you will start getting past that tipping point wherein you're going from experimentation to actual mass scale adoption, and from proof of concepts to ubiquitous application of AI within your organization.
To get beyond the tipping point, it's all about that R at the front being reimagination, and then bringing in the intentional design of how we redesign work for human and machines to get the reimagination for tomorrow. If that's what everyone remembers, I think we can be excited, Nitin, because the opportunities you and I know are endless.